right, guys, welcome back. Happy Wednesday, traders. I was just going through the watch list today: SNMP, TGC, SRRK. Three tickers we're going to be looking at pre-market. It's still pretty early. Right now, I'm still abroad, so I have the luxury of kind of checking out things a little bit before pre-market even gets started. One thing I did want to kind of talk about here, because this is an issue that's going to be coming up during the elections, especially if you are in California. The Uber and Lyft, here's an article on NPR. Uber and Lyft must make drivers employees, California court rules. And I think this is kind of interesting. It's something we've kind of briefly talked about in the live streams every now and then. I just kind of wanted to go through some of the highlights and something that might be good to just kind of keep in mind, because I think they're going to be conversation points in the future. This article was actually published October 22nd. I think today's the 28th. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, it is the 28th today. So let's scroll down here. I highlighted a few of the important parts. I do want to just kind of briefly go over, and actually if I zoom in here, it looks like the highlights kind of go with it. So hopefully this is big enough for you guys. In California, appeals court says Uber and Lyft must classify their drivers as employees rather than independent contractors. This is really, really big news, guys. This is something that has been kind of going back and forth now between these larger app companies and and the app part is really the important part. You'll see that in a second. And the state of California, are these freelancers or contractors, right, with their own company, or are they employees? Both companies, let's read on here, independent rather than independent contractors. So sorry about that. Must classify the drivers as employees rather than independent contractors, siding with the lower court that found the ride-hailing companies were likely violating state labor laws. So this kind of was already proven in the lower court, now into the California appeals court, and we'll see what happens afterwards. We'll talk about what's going to happen next soon here. So both companies have previously threatened to leave the state. But right now there's still a little bit of time. Both companies have 30 days, or these companies have 30 days to appeal, right, to the California Supreme Court, and so on and so on. So it might even end up going to the U.S. Supreme Court at one point. Anyway, there's probably something you've been hearing about called the Proposition 22, or for short, Prop 22. I don't know if you guys have been seeing this on the news. If you're in California, you most likely have. Uber, Lyft, and their allies have been spending $200 million to promote this proposition. We'll talk a little bit more about this proposition now. So basically, it allows food delivery apps, anything from ride-hailing or food delivery apps, to classify their drivers as independent contractors. The delivery apps part is really the crucial part, and we'll go in the charts in a second and see what these companies are classified as. With the kind of the $200 million they've been pumping in here, it looks like 39% of voters support the measure, while 36% oppose it. You can kind of see here, Uber spokespersons, today's ruling means that if voters don't say yes on the Proposition 22, ride-sharing drivers will be prevented from continuing work as independent contractors, putting hundreds of thousands of Californians out of work and likely shutting down ride-sharing throughout much of the state. So, obviously, it's a little bit biased because it's coming from the Uber spokesperson, but that's kind of their perspective on the whole situation. You guys can read this whole article. I'll link it in the first comment below. And it says, many drivers say that they want to keep their flexible work hours that independent contractor status allows, which the company says may not be possible if they're employees, right? If you're employees, you have kind of more fixed schedules, right? Because that's why you get kind of holidays and other things for that. But other drivers say they want the labor laws protection. Totally makes sense. If you're an employee, or, you view yourself as an Uber employee and you do it, every day, and it's your real job, then yeah, I mean, that could be, you want to kind of the employee status. But if you're maybe just, doing it part-time in between, I could definitely see you wanting to be more of an independent contractor. I could see why it's a hugely split debate. And if you go here to the Uber stock price, you can see that they're really that software application. They classify themselves as a tech software app company. Lately, their stock price has been dipping here in the last 2 days. Same with Lyft. Also, that technology software application company, the last 2 days have been a little bit of a hit. Market cap on Lyft is 7 billion, and then Uber here is 59, pretty much 60 billion. So pretty much 9 times the size of Lyft. So yeah, 2020 California Proposition 22, you guys can see this. This is just on the news everywhere. So I think it's good to know about it a little bit. That way you at least have a good kind of idea of what's going on here when you hear about it and your friend asks you, or you're talking about it over It won't be Thanksgiving dinner, but maybe a dinner with your family or friends. Anyway, I really like this site, Ballotpedia.org. I really recommend guys always checking it out. I remember I did my mail-in ballot. I was going through this site for so many different things. One thing I do want to kind of go through here, I'll link this in the first pinned comment as well, is, who is behind the campaign surrounding Proposition 22? We kind of mentioned this briefly already, but these three companies, DoorDash, Lyft, and Uber, each placed $30 million into the campaign. So they are the ones really sponsoring. So this campaign, this kind of new Proposition 22 is really coming from these companies, not so much the people. But yeah, I don't know. Is it good for the people? Is it bad for the people? Let me know what you guys think in the video comments below. I'm just kind of sharing the information as it is here. One little kind of interesting, kind of lighter note here thing that I thought was extremely funny that I saw on morningbrew.com this morning is that Kazakhstan is going all in with the Borat statement. Very nice. Kazakhstan. I love that. I think it's just so funny. It looks like they're really embracing the Sacha Baron Cohen kind of comedic skit on it. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a funny highlight. One more thing to keep in mind, guys, Corona numbers are still going crazy. This is Germany right now, one of the smaller or lower hit EU countries, while France is kind of the opposite of that, kind of going through the roof. If you just remember, Germany was at 15,000, while France is here at 52,000 on the 25th, and then USA, actually, you have to type in United States. You see these numbers change, getting here to kind of 70, 85,000. It's crazy to me how high France is. I got to say, it's really crazy. And these are just the documented cases. So that's also why the market has been a little shaky. The VIX has been going up. So just remember, VIX has been climbing here pretty well. And the S&P, NASDAQ, everything has been kind of consolidating to the downward side. And these recent kind of spikes in coronavirus are definitely not helping. So it's going to be definitely a shaky next week or two before the elections for sure. We'll keep an eye on it. I will see you guys then first thing in the live stream today. We go live at every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every weekday morning to trade the market open after reviewing the watch list. I'll see you guys there. Like always, stay safe, make some awesome trades, and yeah, see you next time. Ciao.